Okay, so today we are completely rethinking how we celebrate Mother's Day. Welcome to this explainer. We're diving into the history and some really interesting modern research to move away from those generic gifts and rushed, high-stress retail expectations. We want to uncover what moms actually crave. Hint, it's probably not another bath bomb.
To really get why this matters, we actually have to look back at the fascinating and honestly kind of gritty history of Anna Jarvis. She's the woman who officially founded the holiday way back in 1908. But going through the historical sources, there is this incredible irony. Do you want to guess what she ended up hating the absolute most about the day she created?
Well, this quote right here pretty much spells out her absolute frustration. She said, quote, "A printed card means nothing except that you are too lazy to write to the woman who has done more for you than anyone in the world." Wow, right? Jarvis literally spent the rest of her life, and her entire inheritance, by the way, fighting the commercialization of the day. She went hard after the greeting card and floral industries because what she desperately wanted was genuine connection, not just some lazy store-bought sentiment.
Let's quickly trace how we got here so her anger makes sense. Originally, the whole concept was actually rooted in honoring a mother's public health activism, what they called active mother work. Back in the 1800s, Anna's own mother created these Mother's Day work clubs, specifically to improve community sanitation. So Anna's first 1908 service was meant to honor that very specific legacy. Fast forward to 1914, Woodrow Wilson signs it into law and, well, almost immediately the whole thing morphed into a massive retail bonanza. It totally lost that original focus on genuine active appreciation.
Okay, let's move into Section 1, the modern mental load, the invisible logistics. This is where things get really relevant for us today. Mothers right now carry this immense, completely invisible weight that, let's be real, rarely gets acknowledged by a generic bouquet of flowers. We call it the mental load. It's basically that exhausting, behind-the-scenes, constantly running spreadsheet in her brain, tracking grocery needs, managing doctor appointments, and serving as the family's default emotional shock absorber.
I absolutely love this paradigm shift. It is so spot on. We really need to celebrate the modern mom by recognizing this massive operational role she plays. She isn't just a caregiver, right? She is literally the CEO, the COO, and the chief heart officer of the house. And the rest of us? We're honestly just lucky to be her interns.
But before we get into the how-to of celebrating, we absolutely have to pause and recognize that this day can be incredibly complex for a lot of people. You know, Mother's Day involves acknowledging some really tough stuff. Grief for lost mothers or children, the very real mental health struggles of new moms. But it's also about celebrating mothers of choice. Think aunts, mentors, grandmothers who step up into that maternal role. It's a day packed with deep emotional reality, and we can't gloss over that. So, on to Section 2, practical burden relief. Because lighter loads make for a better day.
Just take a look at the stark contrast here in how we typically celebrate versus what's actually meaningful. Moms don't just want more stuff. They don't want commercial chocolates or those generic spa gift sets that just, sit there piling up in the bathroom cabinet. What they desperately want, what they actually crave, is the gift of time and the literal, physical lifting of their daily responsibilities.
So how do we do that? Well, you can provide actionable relief through super simple gestures. Just guaranteeing she gets to sleep in and completely taking over the kitchen for a totally chore-free morning is huge. Give her a digital detox day with real conversations. Or you could look into some really practical tech gifts. Like there's this hearth display. It's a 27-inch digital wall calendar where kids can visually track their own chores. That permanently offloads the whole family schedule from her brain, which is a total game changer. Or maybe a Better Sleep app subscription to make sure she's getting the customized soundscapes and rest she actually needs.
All right, Section 3, the gift of quality time, focusing on shared experiences.
Here's the thing. The real secret to a successful Mother's Day brunch or get-together is that she actually wants your presence. True celebration means sitting with her, not just serving her. So that means whoever is doing the cooking absolutely shouldn't be stressed out, running around chaotically and trapped behind the stove all morning while she just sits there by herself.
A really brilliant workaround for this is a simple, foolproof, four-part formula, where basically everything is made the night before. You start with something fruity or light, then add a make-ahead egg main, like a shakshuka base or a baked frittata that you prepped early. Throw in at least one sweet thing, like pastries or cake, and some good bread to tear and share. Doing it this way ensures a completely relaxed, abundant morning where you can actually sit down and enjoy the meal together.
And that builds perfectly into this next point. We really need to prioritize shared experiences over objects.
That could mean simply setting the table the night before and serving everything at once so you can just graze together stress-free. Or it could be doing something totally new together, like taking an online cooking class from Uncommon Goods to learn a new cuisine side by side. You could even look into something like Tingly gift boxes, which let her choose from over 10,000 hand-curated global experiences. The ultimate goal here is shared, low-stress connection instead of just handing over a material object.
Moving on to Section 4, Connecting Across the Distance. Because distance is just logistics.
Distance is just logistics. Love isn't. I really love that phrasing. Look, long-distance families so often settle for that awkward, totally unstructured group video call where everyone is just talking over each other, right? We've all been there. But with just a tiny bit of planning, a virtual celebration can feel incredibly intentional and special. The absolutely crucial point here is structure. You've got to ditch the open-ended calls. Give the video chat a specific format. Maybe play a family trivia game with 10 to 15 prepared questions all about her life before she had kids. Or host a virtual brunch where everyone is literally eating at the exact same time on screen. You can even coordinate a surprise local delivery to show up at her door right as the call begins. These kind of structured activities take what is usually just a simple check-in and turn it into a genuine, memorable event.
Now get this, 82%. That is the staggering percentage of recipients who literally cry tears of joy when watching a compiled group video from Tribute. Using platforms to pull together short video messages from everyone she loves across all different time zones into one polished montage, it's just an incredibly powerful way to completely bypass the distance.
But we have to remember this golden rule. A post-digital message requires a real conversation. No matter what quote, text, or beautiful compiled video you send her, it absolutely must be followed up by a real, live conversation. You have to take that time to recalibrate your relationship and really honor the depth of her role in your life. The technology? That's just the introduction. Your actual time is the real gift.
And that brings us to Section 5, Rethinking Your Celebration, Making It Meaningful. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to really look at your own plans for this coming weekend. Ask yourself, are you just checking a box with a store-bought card, or are you truly giving the mother in your life the relief, the connection, and the deep appreciation she actually deserves? So how will you shift your celebration from just commercial to truly meaningful this year?